TV, and this is the newspaper morning briefing. My name is Double Gifts, and I am here with Mr. Mustafa Abdul Malik. The newspaper briefing show is where we discuss major headlines in major Nigerian dailies today. So we'll start off with the first newspaper we have, and that's the Vanguard newspaper. The major headline here says, VP slot, APC at crossroads over Muslim to Muslim ticket. Tension as herder sees part of Delta community. Also on the Vanguard newspaper, it says, gunmen kill 10 in Zamfara, Sokoto, Ondo communities as bandits abduct Catholic priest in Kaduna. Nigeria has no policy that violates religious freedom, FG tells US senators. Killings, Niger suspends mining activities in the state. The Guardian newspaper. The major headline here says, despite assurances, petrol queues worsen in Lagos, Abuja. Worst days ahead, stakeholders fear. PPMC agreed to supply products to us directly, say marketers. NATO warns members against smuggling. NMDPRA, IPMAN moved to steady PMS price at 165 naira per litre. It also says Ohaneze knocks Kwankwaso as Galadima dismisses NMPP merger talks with LP. Terrorists kidnap another Catholic priest in Kaduna State. The next newspaper is the This Day newspaper. It has it that FG Nigeria risks chaos if petrol subsidy is removed. Also, claims we are having the country much more secure than we met it. NMDPRA expresses concern over growing oil theft. Leadership torso. ABGA urges police to arrest ex-national chairman Okorie, others. It also says Galadima using capacity as parameter for presidency will be not comparable to Kwankwaso, says ex-Anambra governor has a lot to learn. PDP berates APC, Labour Party declares placeholder APC creation. The next newspaper is the Daily Sun newspaper, and it has it that Vice President slots. Afeni Fere, MBF, Islamic cleric, rejects Muslim to Muslim ticket. Say promoters don't wish Nigeria well. Action, I will destroy APC. Political exigency favors it, Yerima. Amotekun, I'll go after terrorists in southwest forests, Akeredolu. Says attack on church will never happen again in the region. Insists state police is to answer to current insecurity. Also, 52 Edo communities shot NPDC office with coffin. The Daily Trust newspaper says despite extension, hope dims for 8,000 Nigerian pilgrims. Saudi airports to close in 24 hours. Excessive flight cancellations, delays trigger confusion. Nakon Airlines assure pilgrims. 12 killed as bandits, vigilantes clash in Plateau. Also, FG to recruit 1 million Nigerians for 2023 census. Lagos residents consume 4.5 billion food daily, Sanwo-Olu. The next paper is the Punch newspaper. It says 20 directors jostled to replace fired AGF. Anamekwe redeployed to FCSC as director. Circular 6 Idris's replacement. Sacked AGF to face disciplinary committee after EFCC probe, says Anand. INEC laments as Asoni's born Enugu office. Also, bandits kidnap Kaduna priest, Edo police free Italian cleric. Traffic lights, how policemen, LASMA officers extort motorists in Lagos community. Also, it says FG issues guidelines to retain oil sector spending in Nigeria. The last newspaper we have is The Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper says Wike's camp gives IU must go condition to back Atiku. Also, it says IP man, federal government agency face off to worsen petrol scarcity. Alright, these are the newspapers we have today. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, I and Mr. Mustafa will be discussing these headlines with you. Please stay with us. Alright, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. So, Mr. Mustafa, let's start off with the Muslim to Muslim tickets. This has been like a tussle going on for a while now. And then now the APC seems to be at crossroads concerning this issue. Also, Afeni Ferre, MBF, and Islamic cleric reject the Muslim to Muslim ticket. What do you think about this concerning the All Progressives Congress?
Well, it's really unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation because the party that is trying to tinker with this idea is the ruling party. As a ruling party, they ought to set a good example for others to follow. But now it seems as if they are more desperate to say, okay, what they're after is just victory per se, not the unity of the federation, not the unity of Nigeria. They are more interested in that than this. You can remember, if you see very well, if you observe very well, since the issue of this Muslim ticket started, there is a kind of a realignment based on religious ground. And if you observe very well, the issue of the popularity of Peter Obi has now gone shoot up as long as APC continue to think about this Muslim ticket. You see a lot of Christians, especially from the north, aligning towards the only Christian candidate that is more popular, which is Peter Obi. They are aligning to that. So, and that is why you are seeing well-meaning Nigerians coming out to speak against it, because it portends doom. It portends great danger to the unity of Nigeria. That unity in diversity that Nigeria has been clamoring for is going to be punctured once APC go ahead to feature that and they eventually win. It portends a great danger for the future of the country. And that is why you are seeing well-meaning Nigerians, starting from Afeni Ferre down to Middle Belt Forum, down to some other Islamic clerics too, that are coming out to speak against it. And look, they should use common sense. It's not victory that matters in a multi-religious society like Nigeria. APC should look beyond just victory. If they want just victory, at the end of the day, they'll get their victory. It goes down to affect the unity of Nigeria, and that is exactly why certain groups, a lot of groups, are speaking against it. They must speak against it, and we, as followers, we should pray that Bola Ahmed Tinubu should use wisdom, because the choice of who becomes his running mate is exclusively his. He would make that decision.
It's also
but what we're hearing is that
decision.
What we're hearing is that he is now like when the governors from the north are like pushing him to say, look, he should pick one of their own, and he should pick from northwest. But he is now saying that, look, I cannot pick from the northwest because northwest has produced the president. The current sitting president, Muhammadu Buhari, is from Kaduna State, from northwest. Yaradua himself hails from northwest, and including the vice president, what is the name, Namadi Sambo too, from the northwest, and they have produced some key persons since 1999. So he is now saying that, look, he's leaning towards the northeast, and the northeast is leaning towards Shetima, who is the campaign DG. But some certain groups within the party, again, they are still pushing him to say, okay, pick Governor Zulum. You understand? So I believe that he himself is in a dilemma, because
someone from the North Central,
they are telling him to pick from the North Central too. Tinubu himself is in a dilemma in the sense that, look, he wished to pick somebody, but in politics is beyond that. You recall that the primaries, He didn't secure that primaries based on saying, okay, people just like him and vote for him. No. In politics, everybody has interest. Probably they must have done some bargaining, behind the scene bargaining to say, okay, we are going to give you our vote. That is at the primaries. We are going to support you, but this is what we want from you. This is what we want from you. And now it's at the crossroad. That is at the crossroad to fulfill some of those promises. It's really unfortunate. It's just that politicians, they are not seeing far beyond what is their own interest. If they are seeing far beyond what is their own interest, I believe that some of those issues now that the APC is dealing with, they ought to have corrected that at the primaries. Had it been, they said, okay, power should shift to the south, and power shifting to the south, they should look into the prevailing circumstances now to say, okay, Muhammadu Buhari is from the north and a Muslim, so going to the south, the APC should produce a Christian. And you see, they have key numbers of Christians from the south that vie for their ticket. You have Amechi, you have Ogunayanu, you have a lot of them too that are from the south. If one of them had picked that, by now the issue of who becomes the running mate would have been a very much more easier for them. But it's unfortunate that they must put into consideration that they are the ruling party. They should do what is right instead of doing what pleases them.
Exactly. Let's move on to PDP.
Yeah.
So Wike's camp in the PDP are giving like conditions for them to back Atiku and give him their support, and then it's tagged "IU must go."
That is another serious battle to me. It's another serious political battle. Recall that who orchestrated the removal of Uche Secondos? It was Wike himself that orchestrated it. And at the end of the day now, IU was produced. Iyorchia Ayu now is more like, to him, is more like a party man. A party man that whoever emerged the flag bearer of the party, he's okay with it. And that's why they have him today. And you understand that Wike, it means that Wike did not have his way. You understand? He's used to having who is the head of the party in his pocket. And what is happening today, it means that Iyorchia Ayu is more aligning towards Atiku. That is why Iyorchia Ayu could not speak out to say, okay, look, Atiku, you set up a committee to look into ways of scouting for who becomes your running mate. At the end of the day, the committee made a recommendation to say, okay, Nyesom Wike now, they presented it before Atiku. Atiku now decide on his own, unilaterally decide on his own to say, okay, I pick Okowa. And he gave reasons for picking Okowa. He said Okowa has more presidential quality to succeed me. If I'm not around, he can decide on education, he can decide on that. And after me, he can still succeed me as the next president. And that is why you now see Wike now to say, okay, I played Wike, although Wike himself has not come out boldly to tell Nigerians that, look, this is what I want. All the people saying all this are his lieutenant, the people, his fans, his supporters, his more key political allies across the country that are the one that are giving this condition to say, okay, for us to have persuade our principal Wike to support Atiku, Iyorchia Ayu must go. Meaning, whoever they will produce, whoever PDP will produce, it must be somebody that Wike picked that will become the successor to Iyorchia Ayu. And I don't think that will happen. You understand? To me, if you ask me, based on what I'm saying right now, I don't even see Atiku as being a strong contender in terms of 2023 against the ruling party. I don't see that. So by now, they're supposed to start looking ways of closing ranks among the opposition to say, look, they must close their ranks, work together to make sure that we say, okay, I'm sorry to use this language, that they have a monster, a big monster, a big masquerade that they must confront in 2023. Without closing ranks, when they decide to go into election like this, they will balkanize their vote. When they decide they balkanize their vote, APC will come out stronger and take the victory again. And that's what we're seeing right now. If you observe, Labour Party is singing its own, NNPP is singing its own, PDP is singing its own. Both of them are seeing it as if they can go into the contest in 2023 like this and secure that victory. I don't see that happening.
Alright, let's move on to other issues like the fuel scarcity. So the fuel queues are worsening in places like Abuja and also in Lagos. And then there's fear here and there that subsidy is likely to be removed. So what do you think about that whole situation?
Well, recall that just last week, President Muhammadu Buhari said, look, that removal of subsidy, fuel subsidy is not feasible. That World Bank is specifically referred to World Bank that they should put into consideration the peculiarity, the economic peculiarity, the suffering in Nigeria, that it's not feasible to remove the subsidy. That is what President Muhammadu Buhari himself said last week. But recall that before now, especially his Minister of Finance, she has been saying it that, look, Nigerians doesn't have option. That the only solution to the revenue problem is removal of subsidy. And what she's saying now is that almost what NNPC generates as oil revenue, that it goes into servicing of fuel subsidy. That if we could remove that subsidy, that money that is going to subsidizing fuel for Nigerians to use, that money can be channeled into capital projects. See, there's no. The thing is that we should tell ourselves the truth. Even advanced countries, America, subsidize certain things for their citizens to enjoy.
Exactly, and already there's
we don't enjoy anything from the government apart from this first subsidy that we're talking about. And even this first subsidy, President Muhammadu Buhari himself, or the minister, they cannot come out openly to tell Nigerians that, look, this is the amount of fuel that we consume daily. All they are trying to like bandit around is something that they will tell Nigerians to say, okay, this will now shoot up the cost of the subsidy. And it's in summary, the whole thing about the subsidy is somehow it's rooted in some secrecy towards corruption. That is my own understanding. So, removal of subsidy, certainly it will boomerang, it will have adverse effect on Nigerians. Recall that today now, transportation is almost like has risen up to 100%. And when we're talking about transportation, we're talking about haulage of goods and services from one part of the country to another part of the country. The transporters are exploiting based on saying, okay, gas, which is the main thing that the trucks use, has gone up to almost about 800 naira per liter. From 300 naira or from 250 now to 800 naira. So it's outrageous. So when they are talking about removal of the subsidy, Nigerians will continue to suffer it. And it's unfortunate that today now we're talking about fuel queue in the Lagos and Abuja. So why is it's like this in these two cities? It's because NNPC and other agencies that monitor the pricing in these two cities, they are going after these fuel stations. They ensure that they must sell within that fixed price. They shouldn't. Otherwise, if you go to some other state like Kaduna now, you discover that some fuel stations they are selling above 200. Because they are selling above 200, the fuel is available. Motorists could walk in, no matter what, they will just queue for some few minutes and they obtain their fuel and they go. But in these cities of Lagos and Abuja, they must stick to that fuel price, and that is the problem. It means there are things that the government is not telling Nigerians. Are they trying to like hold the fuel in these two cities so that to create that artificial scarcity, so that Nigerians will bear the brunt, and at the end of the day now they will not decide to say, okay, we are increasing the pump price. When they decide, the game is all about create artificial scarcity so that they will increase the fuel price. When they increase the fuel price, you will discover that it will be available everywhere. You understand?
And like it or not, Nigerians will still buy it.
See, we are used to that now. That is why I keep telling Nigerians, telling people that, look, anyone that says Nigerians are not good, that person doesn't know what he's doing. Nigerians are good. Push us to anywhere, we'll just follow you. We'll go there. Push us here, we'll follow you. Look at Asiwaju has been on strike now for almost about 4 months to 5 months now. Where in this part of the world where in this world that there will be that the school will the university education, tertiary education will shut down and nobody cares. So that is the situation. So it seems as if there are things that the government is not telling Nigerians. Is it that there's enough commodity out there then the independent marketers on their own decided or to like hoard it to create this scarcity? Or is it that you remember, it's only NPC that import fuel now. They are the sole importers of fuel into Nigeria, then they supply the independent marketers. From the independent marketers to other retailers here and there. So it means what we are experiencing now, there is a deliberate attempt to create that scarcity. Because up till now, nobody has been able to come out to explain to Nigerians that this is what is causing this scarcity.
Exactly.
Although marketers are saying that they have some certain outstanding payment that have not been paid. So who is to pay that?
Alright, moving on, let's talk about Saudi Arabia. There are Nigerians there, Nigerian pilgrims who are stranded in Saudi Arabia at the moment. And then it says that flights are being cancelled, delays here and there, and then there's just confusion all over the place. You see, it's not that the Nigerian pilgrims are stranded here, it's Nigerians, the intending pilgrims from Nigeria here that I want to. Ahead of the Salah.
Yes, and it's like I think as from tomorrow, the Saudi will close their airspace for the pilgrimage flying into Saudi Arabia. So that is what it means. What they are saying now is that some Nigerians, they had already paid their money, but they could not secure that flight to leave them from here to Saudi Arabia. That was this thing has been reoccurring. It's like yearly. Nigerians must experience this. So, and we are experiencing this because government through National Hajj Commission, they centralize this thing. So it's not like when you want to go on pilgrimage, you just go and secure your flight, secure your ticket, and take your passport to the Saudi embassy and get your visa and travel. No, it's not like that. It's been centralized state by state. You now discover that National Hajj Commission will decide to license some airlines to say, okay, you airlift the pilgrims from Oyo, Ogun, Lagos. You discover that those airlines, some of them, they don't have that. They claim they are so-called airline, but they will not have the planes to fly them. So they are relying to say, okay, if this plane should go, by the time he return back, before he lift again and go like that. Some of them are using only 1 or 2 planes. So you discover that they are experiencing this difficulty. And again, there are some element of corruption involved in it. A situation whereby a pilgrim, somebody intending to go on pilgrimage is paying certain amount of money, but what they are paying to the airline is different. It's different. So there is this confusion here and there. So and it's affecting those ordinary people that have decided on their own to say, okay, they pay their money willingly to the Hajj Commission to say, okay, we want to go on this, and because government decided to centralize it into Christian, you have the Muslim one, they have National Hajj Commission for the Muslim, and then you have the Christian, these two, they centralize it for just to make it like a uniform thing. But instead of getting that, it's becoming so difficult. I don't know whether government will not think towards liberalizing it to say, okay, whoever wants to travel, state by state, they should make their own separate arrangement instead of combining it under Hajj Commission. I don't know.
It's good because a lot of people are stranded at this time, and it says about 8,000 people.
Yes, and you discover that, see, we are talking about going. If you observe very well, I usually follow this. I usually follow this yearly. You discover that it's almost embarrassing that when the Hajj has finished in Saudi Arabia, Nigerians are stranded there. Nigerians are the nationals that are stranded in Saudi Arabia. Before going, they'll face these challenges. Coming back again, it's another challenge again. And in this case now, they are constituting nuisance on the government of Saudi Arabia. It's completely an embarrassment. Why is it that only Nigerians, you have some other, it's a world, different part of the world they are coming, but it's only Nigerians that will remain, stay behind. You understand? And their visa, I think their visa is for only 2 weeks. That Hajj visa is just for 2 weeks, and at the end of the day, some of them are staying beyond 2 weeks. And you have to put up with them because. And they have to put up with them. Not, you see, the fact is that even if Saudi Arabia is an Arab country, even a country like Kuwait that shares similar ancestral history with them, a Kuwaiti man cannot come into Saudi Arabia unless with visa, and you cannot overstay your visa. By the time you overstay your visa, you are subject to be penalized by the authorities there. So and that is the situation with Nigerians. By the time they go there, living there will become a problem. And you understand, these are some of these countries that are organized. They are not like us. You understand? In Nigeria here now, you discover that somebody from Nigeria will come into Nigeria, somebody from Benin Republic is coming into Nigeria, even although there is a ECOWAS protocol on free movement. You discover that countries, like some countries, they plan to say, okay, facilities that certain numbers of people, their citizens will enjoy, and they will create that space to say, okay, if there is addition that is based on the pilgrims that are coming, this is what they will enjoy. And they are creating it for just 2 weeks. Let's say that they create it for 1 month. But they are not expecting you to stay so that you consume it. You understand? That is the situation. This is an embarrassment. Nigerian government, they should remember that we are in 21st century. We are no longer in that 20th century or 19th century.
Like we should have passed issues like this.
Yes, we should pass issues like this. And then again, you cannot completely blame the airline, because the airline too, they are complaining that, look, the cost of aviation fuel has drastically gone up. And before now, they have been complaining that government should come to their aid. The government should give them how do I call it, kind of subsidize for them too on this aviation fuel, or which the government has not been able to meet their demand. You understand? The government should, they have been calling it that the government should come on a kind of bailout, and the government has not been able to assist them. So it's difficult for them too. So you understand? So the situation is unfortunate that, look, some people pay their money and they will not be able to embark on these religious, what they
will
consider.
Probably not be refunded.
They will be refunded, but is it the refund that they want? You understand? So I believe that probably because some people have not really taken their time to say, okay, it's a breach of agreement. If I should pay money into you, that you are going to take me out of here, and you didn't do it, by the time they slam them legal action and they pay fine, at least next time they will change.
Alright, so moving on, let's move to Lagos State. We are told that Lagos government closes Redeemer School over death of 5-year-old pupil. So the story has it that this 5-year-old pupil was he drowned during swimming lessons, and then the whole story is making rounds, and then people are talking about negligence on the part of the teachers. Like, how can you leave a child that young unattended in a pool, and then he would drown? And then before drowning, of course, the child would definitely struggle and at least draw a bit of attention. So how come this happened under their watch?
Well, it's really sad. It's unfortunate that, look, as parents, people struggle here and there to meet up the aspect of paying tuition fees, school fees at outrageous rate. People struggle to meet up that and to send their children to good schools. But the schools, on their own part, they seem to have this negligence. Otherwise, if you go to, even in the hotel, if you go to swimming pool, you will discover that the pools are like, this is grade by grade, to say, okay, don't, between so if you are not a good swimmer, don't go to this. And then we are talking about, you are talking about school whereby there are pupils, there are children
as young as 5
young as 5, and then you allowed that to wander around until you now fell into a pool. And
they are supposed to be like lifeguards stationed at every side.
Apart from the lifeguard, wherever you have a pool, you must have a pool attendant.
Especially
that pool attendant will be
young children.
That pool, even in the hotel, there are dedicated staff that man that pool, and it's always there, whether the pool is in use or not. It's always there to just monitor who is around there, because we're talking about safety. You can't talk about safety without having someone to be there. So it's unfortunate. Lagos State government, they acted right. By the time they penalize them, we're talking about life here. That life will not come back again.
Exactly.
Even no matter the level of punishment or the penalty they're going to pay, that life has gone. So, but at least let the Lagos government be proactive to set an example whereby other schools too will follow.
So we pray that his soul rests in peace, and then God comforts his parents, because this must have been
really sad.
Exactly.
Sad.
Yeah, so that's all we have for you today. Please join us again on Aspheric TV, the newspaper morning briefing. My name is Double Gift, and I have had Mr. Mustafa Abdul Malik. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Aspheric TV on YouTube. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms. Facebook, we are official Aspheric TV. On Instagram and Twitter, we are Aspheric News. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Yeah, we got it. Business news, sports news, politics, transportation, entertainment, environment, and all of it. Go to Aspheric TV for those content. Was you correct?